going to be due this Friday. You will have 3.5 lessons. Most classes will have 3. As always, make sure you look at the section below. In order to get a level 5, all you need to do is complete the first page. So you should be able to complete the first page really easily after this video. The first question says, explain the situation to your reader. So what you need to do is read what this investigation is about. It's all about folding pieces of paper in order to make sure the image continues on the front and the back page. So for example, if you fold this piece of paper in two, you are going to have 2 similar things here. So what we're going to be doing is taking an A4 piece of paper in the orientation shown above. This means we are going to take it horizontally. So, for example, this is vertically on the PowerPoint. And what we're going to do is measure both its width and its height. Width in maths is always the shortest side. So this would be the width, and the height would be the longest side. That is a thing you need to make sure you've memorised. What I'd like you to do in this investigation is make sure you remove the bullet points. So during the investigation, you're going to make sure you remove all this text and just write all your answers in full sentences. This is going to give you a higher mark. Then it says you're going to fold a piece of paper in half and rotate it so that the width is longer than the height, and measure both the height and width of the paper that you get. Comment on how folding the A4 piece of paper is related to the A5. So what it means is if you have an A4 piece of paper, let's say this is my imaginary piece of paper, and you fold it in half, you are going to get 2 shapes which look like this. Shape 1 and shape 2, that's about half. Then, if you take away that half, what now is our width and what now is our height? Your investigation is slightly different to this because it wants you to remain horizontal rather than vertical. So your shape's actually going to be orientated this way round, but it will still remain the same, that this is going to be the height and this is going to be the width. So you've got to comment on what are the similarities between this blue shape and this red shape. So this was this point here. Comment on folding an A4 piece of paper like this is related to an A5. So you're going to see, is this red shape related to an A5 if you've halved the blue shape? Now it says find the ratio of the height to the width of both sets of measurements and cancel both ratios in the form 1 to n. This is the most academic sentence, but it's quite straightforward. What I mean by that is, let's say the width is 1. And let's say that the height is 3. These are numbers which are incorrect, so don't copy this. It says find the ratio of height to width in the format 1 to n. So if height is 3, we are going to get the ratio is 3 to 1. But there's a problem with that because it wants us to write it in the ratio of 1 to n. So what you have to do is simplify this ratio so it becomes 1 to 0.3 recurring, and that is a ratio of 1 to n. You're then going to repeat the same process but for the red shape, and you're going to write the height to width in the ratio. So you put the biggest number first, the smallest number next, then you'll divide it by something in order to get your ratio to be 1 to something. So that is this point here. Then it says comment on what you notice. So you're going to get 2 ratios. This will be a ratio for the blue shape and you'll get a ratio for the red shape, and you need to discuss what you notice and explain how the values of n might have affected the degree of accuracy. So to get a 6, 7 and 8 you have to talk about accuracy. For example, describe how the degree of accuracy in measurements has affected the calculations. Has it affected it positively or negatively, for example? Then it says research the A-size paper system. So the A-size paper system is to do with folding pieces of paper in half, and you keep getting smaller or you keep doubling things. So this has got half the area, for example. How does the ratio match in other similar investigations, other similar things? So if we go from A4 to A5 to A6, or if we go from A4 to A3 to A2, you can use Google to help you with that, but you should use your findings to link with what you find on Google. Present why this is particularly well suited to Brent's idea. You need to read what Brent wants to do. Then next lesson, or today if you've got time, you're going to be folding in 3. I'm not going to give you too much help for this, but the situation this time is that he wants to fold the piece of paper into 3. And you've got to talk about different measurements to do with dividing it by 3 rather than dividing it by 2. Again, I'm not going to give you too much assistance because this is for the grade 7 and grade 8, so you need to interpret this on your own.